Students Clayton Tart and Dennis Lupchanyuk, along with faculty member Maya Paliero, have returned from their trip to Abu Dhabi. They are in our Studio 96 with our very own Brandon Hines to discuss their experience overseas. Now to you, Brandon.
Thanks, Samantha. I'm so glad to see you all return safely home from Abu Dhabi, and I want to welcome you back to Studio 96. Myself and the viewers are so excited to hear about your trip. So tell us about some of the highlights, starting with you, Mr. Clayton.
I guess one of the biggest highlights would have to be meeting royalty. We got to meet two different members of different royal families. We met Prince Charles, and also got to meet the grandson of one of the framers of the Constitution from the United Arab Emirates. And anytime you meet royalty, I guess it's just, that had to be the highlight for me.
Did anything funny occur? Anybody say anything funny?
One of the first gentlemen that I met from the Emirates for the Higher College of Technologies, as soon as I told him I was from Alabama, he knew nothing but Jeff Foxworthy jokes. So I got to hear "You might be a redneck Jeff" over and over and over again. It's quite funny.
I think one of the most important events was meeting Prince Charles and to talk to him about the technology and their role in the society. And he was really knowledgeable about this problem, the elaboration of technology, and how we are going to use technology and integrate the technology in our life, and also how we are going to control violence in the internet. And I think this was a pretty incredible experience for me, because I never met people at such high rank, and again, it's just emphasized that our conference was really important in the world, and a lot of very distinguished guests pay attention to this conference and gave some very interesting speeches.
Okay, for me, the highlight of the experience, oh, by the way, I didn't meet Prince Charles, unfortunately, but the highlight of the experience was, as Dennis said, this conference was important. There were dignitaries from all over the world, and the University of West Alabama was represented there. And two students from the University of West Alabama actually presented a paper. There are only 36 papers that were given, and theirs were chosen from about 300. No, Dennis? From about 300 papers. Only 3 colleges from the United States were represented, and the University of West Alabama, along with Wake Forest University and Harvard University, were the only 3 United States colleges. Therefore, the highlight was to have our school represented in such a fine way among just dignitaries and students from over 100, 110 countries in the world.
So, Mr. Clayton, what was some vital information you learned on this trip?
I guess probably one of my favorite speeches that I got to watch was Dr. Muhammad Yunus. He is the Nobel laureate from last year, Economics and Peace Prize. He is the founder of micro banking. It's kind of like trickle-up economics, to where they give loans out to impoverished people, and I think 95% retention rate, actually pay their loans back on $4 or $5 billion. So he's really leading the way in trying to end poverty, and getting to hear him speak was definitely one of the highlights also.
I'll give you the same question.
I think this conference presented a lot of interesting ways how we can improve poverty in different countries, and how each country can contribute to these problems. And there were a lot of papers concerning specifically this direction. For example, the Germany student, they went actually to South Africa and helped people to work with their problems.
Well, guys, it's a pity we're out of time, but I would like to thank you all for joining us once again in Studio 96. It was a pleasure to have you back.
Good to be back.
Back to you, Samantha.
Thanks, Brandon.